Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Angela Roche, and we are here for another review of Chasing Atlanta Season 6, Episode 5. Girl, it's getting hot in her. And just in case you were wondering, no, this is not going to be a voiceover review. I'm going to be here in the flesh, right here on the good old camera. I'm ready today. So we're going to be here, have a good time, talk about the edits, some of the things that I liked in the episode, some of the things that made me look and scratch my head even, if there are any. And we just going to talk about it. I encourage you to get down in the comment section. Let me know some of your favorite edits and some of the favorite things that you saw in this episode, and we can discuss it. Now, let's get into this. So in episode 6, we open up. And actually, hold on, let me go back and make sure we are clear. We are coming off of a filler episode, right? And I said in the last review that usually after a filler episode, you get like the good right after that. Here we go. We begin the mess and the craziness right away. I mean, not right away. It's not right away. By the end of the episode, we get there because we definitely have some moments in here. Yeah, they happened. They were cute. But we're gonna get into it. So we open up the scene with a scene that honestly could be put at any point in this season because this had nothing to do with anything else happening. We got to see Shannon Balenciaga and Oliver sit down and talk about his hopes to join Ballroom, which was a cool scene. Again, the scene was very clean. It was very clean. We got shots of, Tonka when he mentioned that Oliver mentioned that Tonka, that she walks Bazaar, but I do believe Tonka is Legendary Runway, but has walked Bazaar as well. Again, this scene was filler. This scene honestly could have been at any point in the season so far, and it wouldn't have changed anything. I do hope that we see some forward movement of this because otherwise, this was just a scene to have Shannon show up on the show because Oliver can prove that he can pull around big name people. So yeah, hopefully we see Oliver do ballroom stuff because otherwise there was no purpose for this scene. But it's cute that he's doing that. It is nice to see him do these things. But like I said, this scene could have gone anywhere in the season so far and nothing would have changed. So there's that. We next move on to the scene of Seven performing. I mean, we always get to see Seven perform. The editors over at Chasing love to edit them a good performance down, and that they do. I encourage you to check out all the different seasons, including the clips and snips of everyone's performances that have done performances on the season, because they have some really good ones. I know Robert Ray has some over there. Barbie Bankrose has some over there. There's some from Hershey Liqueur as well. So go over there, check out the performances, because the Chasing Reality, they really throw their foot down when it comes to editing, especially when she be going for them splits. So shout out to that. It's always good. It's always exciting. It always makes us want to keep watching some more of it. And I want to go tip the girl down. So find Seven in Atlanta or wherever she is, because I know the girl's booked and busy, and go see her, because that's what the edit gave us. It makes us want to go watch her in person. So shout out to her. Now here's where I have questions from a production standpoint, and this actually goes to the cast members. Friends, it is important to remember when you do your green screens what mindset you were in at that time. Because if you don't, you might end up doing what happened to Jay Twan today, which is he looks like a hater. Here's why. In the moment, Jatwan seemed to be loving every bit of this performance. He didn't have no judgment on his face. He wasn't, turning his nose up at nothing. It was cheers and all of that. Then you got into the green screen and you read her down. Do you understand how it doesn't make sense? Like, you say that's how you felt, but all we see from you is pleasantries, happiness, and excitedness for the performance. So I'm confused when you say this because you didn't mention it in the scene anywhere. So doing this, because now I'm assuming you now have an issue with Seven. Y'all don't like each other currently. And so when you went to go record your green screen, you did not like her. And so you decided to read her a little bit, which wouldn't have made sense to the season in the moment. Um, and thus you get the hater edit. Jatwan, this is your fault. It does not make sense that you were in there laughing, kiki, smiling, didn't make not one shady comment about nothing during the scene, and then we see a edit of you dragging her. It looks like you are a hater. So for all of you who record green screens, please keep this in mind because there's somebody I'm coming for at the end of the season. I mean, at the end of the episode, later about the same thing, and you already know who you are. I'm coming for you too. But we'll get there. So outside of that, the scene was cute. It was clean. It moved along. We then moved outside, where they're talking to Tonka and everybody. You know, this scene was also done really well, especially to be shot outside because we remember Chasing Dallas. We remember the wide shots from Chasing Dallas, and they were catastrophic. Catastrophic. In this one, the wind did not betray us. So shout out to the Atlanta weather for holding it together for the production aspect of things. Because this scene was really cute. It went by quickly. One thing that you have to remember is if you're watching a show and you're comfortable just sitting there watching it, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you don't think to yourself, wow, this is taking a while, or you don't think to yourself, wow, this was short. That means whoever pieced this conversation together did so at a tempo that is comfortable for everybody to follow along. And that's exactly what we could do. No matter who was talking, we were able to follow along in this whole scene. It was extremely clean. We got the information we needed out of it. And then we did what? We moved on. The next scene is King Kane down to the Texas working on his business stuff, talking about his LLC. Um, Again, this is a really, really clean scene. You can tell and Dario or whoever else is doing. I'm gonna always say Dario and whoever else because I don't know who all touches the edit. I just know that Dario is the head editor, or we'll just say the production staff. I don't know. However I say it, that's what I'm gonna get. But the people down there to the Taste of Reality, you can tell they were having a good time editing this episode together because the background music, the sound effects, the swooshes, the shots, going crazy while she's talking, like it was just a good scene. Very clean. We got the point. The conversation moved along. It was just clean. It was really, really well done. Like just really good and clean, and you love to see it. When there's not much to say, that means all the little elements are right. You had, like I said, all those elements in there, good and nothing overdone. So the next scene we get to is Tonka recording her song. I'm not gonna hold you. It made me want to give a little, I'm learning a little hands. But it definitely made me want to walk. I might have to learn how to walk a runway with that song in the back of my head. Okay, I'm gonna play that, be walking down the street, giving it to the girls. Okay, so shout out to Tonka. This scene again, very clean, very fun. I have to give it. I always say my favorite walk ups. Now this one wasn't necessarily a regular walk up that Chasing does. However, when Jay entered and that music played, that tipping music, I screamed. So that has to be my favorite walk up of the episode. Because it was just silly. And I'm here for it. I like some stupidity. Yes, we like stupidity every so often. Child, next we get to this scene that was really unfortunate. We got Troy and Jatwan sitting to discuss a friendship that they have had. It's really awkward because here are some things that we normally get from Chasing, and we got them during this episode. However, we should have gotten more. And what I mean when I say that is it was real awkward for Jatwan to sit down and say, you should, like, what was it? People wouldn't know, but we were friends. And it's like, how does that work? Because right then we should have got flashbacks of y'all hanging out as friends, but instead we waited until Troy mentioned we only hung out like a couple times, and then whoop de whoop de whoop, we saw them few pictures. So it's very confusing. the core reasoning of this scene. But again, when you're the editor and you're the videographer, that's not your point. When you're filming it, you're just gonna point and click and deal with whatever comes to you. Uh, and Lord have mercy. Um, Jatwan, do you have a little Italiano in your blood? Because the way you talk with your hands so much, they was trying to get a good close up of our good brother Troy. Okay, they wanted to be right here while his face was blank because he was over this conversation, and you kept doing this, and they couldn't get it, and just the shot of him. There's a shot in there, and it. I screamed when I saw it. There's a shot where it's coming at Troy's face, but Jatwan's arm is right here, and it's like. And I said, "Aw, that's really unfortunate. Jatwan, you got to like chill with them hands, brother. Oh, we need a wide shot. Can we get a wide shot? Cause that was, I was like, why? It's right here. It's just right there, like boom, just arm, just right in his face. I'm like, oh, and they tried real hard to like slide to the right, and Jatwan said, I don't understand. And Troy went to the left. The cameraman went to the left, and Jatwan said, I'm mad about something from 5 years ago. And so we don't know what the. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I was sad for the camera person because they was trying their hardest. Ooh, Brandon, you was trying your hardest. I know you were. I don't know who it was. I'm going to say Brandon because that's the first thing that came to my mind. But whoever it was, you was trying real hard to get Troy in frame. And Jatwan's hand said, no, of course not. Oh, it was unfortunate. I just know in the back of your head, whoever was holding that camera was fuming. Like, are you serious right now? Are you for real? Because there's not much you can do on a close up. You got to be careful because you can't move too much. So you got to try and hold it steady and either back up, which going to change the integrity of the whole shot, or you got to try and slide to the right ever so slightly, or slide to the left ever so slightly. It just, yeah, it was unfortunate. Ah, man, I felt bad. Ooh. Okay. Um, but that's that scene again. Outside of that, real clean, real simple. Um, I appreciated the flashbacks that we did get. Now I have to say, whoo, quite the choice it was to play the entirety of the moment versus just the question. But I'm not going to hold you. I would have edited it the same way. I would have wanted to make sure that the viewers understood exactly what was going on. And baby, the way that lady said, with a quickness, they were mean to me. I was like, oh my God. I just, but also keep in mind, we had to add context, right? Because the reality is that's an awkward question, like for anyone to hear. And the reality is, most interviewers, and I know because I've interviewed and talked to people who are in web reality space, most people, when you ask that question, you are not expecting to actually get an answer. I'll be the first one to say, you are not expecting to hear a name roll off the tongue unless that pink slip has already been delivered publicly. And they have said it publicly. Typically, you're not going to say nothing like that. So I guarantee to you, Troy laughing, I promise you, baby, it was awkwardness. Because it was like, oh my, you put a name on, oh my God. I promise just went through his head. Because when I had to ask some people, what was it? Justice, when I asked Justice in my interview over on the TTB network about when Diego walked in and Diego had no clothes on, and I asked Justice what he saw and if it was a nice sight or not. I was not expecting him to just say, oh yeah, it was big. I was not ready for that. I was expecting him to just say, oh, it was fine or whatever, But he gagged me a little bit, and I just had to, have a response. I don't give a damn. But like, you have to have a response to the things happening in front of you, whether it's my friend or not. I could ask the same question about somebody I'm actually friends with. If you give me a moment that's awkward and or funny, I'm gonna chuckle. I'm probably not even gonna check you because I invited you to come speak to me, and then I asked you a question, and then you, with your whole back, answered it. So again, do you see how we just had that whole conversation That whole conversation, because we were offered context, this is why context is important in conversations. Because Chasing went and gave us the feedback and gave us exactly what moment Jatwan was talking about from 5 years ago. Whoo, five. But because we got the moment, we just had a whole conversation about what was happening in that moment, which would have led to the. This is good editing. This is good storytelling. I just had a whole tangent about something not in the episode because the story told it so well. Shout out to this scene. I mean, it was good. It was hilarious. The cuts were right. The facial expressions you hit the people where they needed to be hit. No shit. We felt Jatwan's side. You could feel where he was coming from, whether you agree with it or not. You could feel him. You felt Troy's side when he said, I'm trying to give this conversation energy." I felt that in my whole soul because I would have been the same way sitting there looking at you blank, like what? But in general, we got a good, well put together scene between two people. There was good back and forth. The timing, the cadences, all of it, real good, real cute. We appreciate that. We love that. We want to see more of that. Also, shout out to Jatwan and Troy for being able to put on a good scene together without having to do all the screaming and the carrying and the dot 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 dots. No hands were thrown. Nobody went low and beyond the belt. It was cute. Whoever you think won the scene, I don't care. That's not between me or nobody else. That's on them. Now, I do think Detroit was in the right, but hopefully they figure their friendship out, and we're going to talk about more of these edits. So the next scene is between Jay Amore and Dominique. This again was a clean scene, nothing crazy, except for the second time y'all have misused this Raven, That's So Raven edit situation, the eye. Y'all, Raven looks in the future. Raven does not look in the past. I get it, and I have to say, and I think I said this last time, it is perfectly edited. It is edited as if it was a part of the damn Disney Channel itself back when that show came out. It is perfectly edited. Perfect. Perfect. I would love to just see sorry y'all. I would love to see a screenshot of what the Final Cut part looks like for that because it's so perfect. I mean, it is edited perfectly. However, Raven does not look in the past. She looks in the future. And so every time y'all use her to look in the past, I chuckle because I'm like, that's not how that works. Alas. We're going to keep on going. Outside of that, again, clean episode. Not episode, clean scene. Everything was good. Good conversation. I mean, this whole episode really, you could tell somebody was in their bag, in their rhythm, because everything just flow. It was so good. I rewatched it earlier today, and honestly, I couldn't believe it was already over. I was like, wait a minute. Dang, it really went through that? Okay, work. So we really appreciate that. This next part, now we get down to the, Lord, have mercy, help them, Jesus. We get down to this pool party, and I have to say, it started off, when I was watching it, I was very confused because I want to say this came on right after the commercial break. And maybe I didn't see the timer. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I just, for some reason, thought Oliver was about to put on another trip. Right? And then he said Memorial Day. And I'm like, why is there a Memorial Day in Chasing? And then it said a safe place. A safe place. And a safe place. And I said, wait, what? And then all hell broke loose. Baby, this was great. This whole put together was excellent. Down from the Mean Girls shot of Oliver standing there watching the chaos happen around him, to us getting the cell phone version of them two people fighting or whatever have you, with the people blurred out because we can't show their faces, down to the YouTube because we don't know them and they ain't got no release forms. Down to having to go to the first place, having to tell everybody gotta leave. Now we get to the second place. Baby, here, let me help you understand. The background music. Dario, your specialty is background, like one. Yeah, no, your specialty is just post production, like period. Like the music through this whole part forever set this. You didn't have to hear nothing. You could have took all the voices out and just played this as a silent film with that music, and everything that needed to be understood would have been understood. Okay, from the music of them going down the steps and it sounding all dreary. From now, I will say it was funny to hear Dario ask Oliver about what it looked like inside and what what the place was, and you get the shots of the place being a little dreadful. We get the little darker, um, shaded areas, not so much the ones hit by the sunlight. I caught that. Y'all intentionally showed us shaded areas and or parts where the sun was being covered by the clouds, and I appreciated that to make it look more dreary. Then we get to Rico talking about the people from that other show, and then the music just cut out to the baby. I screamed. But shout out to Set It Off ATL. Y'all supposed to be coming soon. We hope it's gonna give what it's supposed to have gave. I'm gonna give y'all one episode to find out if I'm going to review it or not. And yes, if I do so, I'm coming for the production aspect again. Now, I might talk about the show a little bit more than I am with Chasing. But we're going to get into the things with the Set It Off people. I don't know. We'll see. My two favorite cast members is no longer on the show. So I'm definitely interested how that Set It Off going to go. Oh, no, not I'm rhyming again. Anyway, let's get back to Chasing. But shout out to Set It Off ATL. Y'all were in the building yet again, as Rico pointed out. So shout out to that. We get down. What was it? So now we into the argument phase. This argument, man, I'm with Tonka. Y'all are tired. I'm tired. We're gonna talk about the show for just a second. Nope, I'm gonna talk about it as a camera person, as a production person. If I come to 4 scenes and y'all are still saying the exact same thing, baby, I'm gonna be sitting behind that camera like this. I know Jamar and Dario was sitting there like, they still talking about this. Yeah. Why? I don't know. Who keep bringing this up? All of them. Girl, they went to go get margaritas. They were tired. They were over it. They were over it. Because I'm over it. Talking over. We're all over it. We have to stop talking about the same stuff. We have to. This is tired. Like, okay, he was maliciously maligned. We got it. Maliciously maligned. Thank you for the alliteration. Oh, it was so, But this is going to be the phrase we keep saying for the rest of the year. It's fine. But man, enough is enough. It was long. It was drawn out. But it flowed real nicely from a production standpoint. I enjoyed this scene. Who the camera shots? The best part though is when Tonka broke, and because King Kane said that to him, and he looked down in that camera. Here's another moment where the camera angle forward matters, and I'm inclined to believe that the person holding this camera had to be like, probably Brandon, because Dario is tall. Jamar, I believe, is tall, and Tonka is very tall. The way Tonka was looking down into that camera, down. He looked down on all of us, and we knew he was mad. And Dario, the fact that you found that shot set the tone for exactly who this man is, and then he showed it right behind it. He looked down at that camera. Looked over at Rico and said, did he just... The next thing we know, he literally pushed Oliver out the way and grabbed him, and shout out to the camera person. Whoo! You got, right here, Okay, we saw the front end of Tonka and the front end of King K. Baby, they was right here. This moment would have looked like nothing but pure bullying if we were not right here. We had to be right here because otherwise you would have just seen this giant ass man yank up this little tiny dude. But it's being able to be in that close to where we could see in their eyes, where you could see in Tonka's eyes, where he was like, "Yo, pull your together because I care about you. You not about to look like this." And we felt that in our souls because most of the people in the chat, myself included, said, "I need somebody who's gonna do that for me when I act out. If on the chance that I act out, I need somebody to come grab me up like that. I need that." Because then you saw it back in Kane's eyes, where he received what was being said to him, and you could understand that this was a bonding moment and not a rough you up, I'ma fight you moment. Now, granted, Tonka would have did what needed to be done if he had to, but it was more of a bonding moment. So shout out to that. Um, that was amazing. I really appreciated seeing that. That was the end of the episode. However, there was a couple other things that I wanted to get to real quick that happened in this scene. Also, we got the obligatory shot of J-Lo popping up. And when I say obligatory, it's because she's a part of the brand. If she pops up at an event where the brand is, it behooves us to show our people out and about doing things with us. So the obligatory shot of Jayla, it would have been the same thing if it was anyone else from any other season. Then here we go to Rico. Hey Rico, I love you, friend. You know what's funny about this green screen? Rico, we all know what week you filmed that green screen. Rico, we know what week you filmed that green screen. How is it you took a whole moment to talk about Jayla, this person you just met, and you turned it into somebody else? Rico, we know what week you did it because Rico, we know you and her was friend. Is friend? Yeah, y'all cool. Y'all cool. Last night I knew y'all cool. Y'all squashed all that. I want no part. Last I know everything is good in the hood. Hallelujah. However, comma, we know what week you filmed that green screen. And this is why y'all have to be careful about bringing your personal feelings into that room. At the day of the green screen is the day you have to actually be an actor. As a reality TV personality, this is the day you have to be an actor. And you might have to put on a face because somebody you might have all the problems with now, when you first dealt with them, you didn't have those problems. I.e., you know what? You know who's perfect at this? Dominique. Do you know why? Because at the beginning of the season, Dominique wasn't nasty about Wayne. He was cool, cordial, and he was decent. He wasn't nasty. He didn't go nowhere. He didn't say anything crazy. Keep in mind, we know Dominique recorded them green screens after they got in their little tussle. So, if you need lessons on how to do your green screens and talk to the people based on how you was feeling there, go talk to Dominique. Go talk to King Kane. Go talk to Oliver Twixt. Because they're giving it. Also, my honorable mention, I have a new. There's somebody else I want the raw footage for of their green screens. Tonka, how you doing? You be saying some funny stuff, Tonka. I bet your green screens are hilarious. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Shout out to season 6, Chasing Atlanta Forever. This was episode 5. I've been Angela Rashay, giving you my little ones and twos about the little production things that I saw, liked, and didn't like. And I will see y'all next week in the next one. Okay, bye. Maybe if I can stop the recording. Gee, where's the button? Somebody help. Where? There it is. Okay, bye for real, y'all.